on. They get one with 1.9 seconds left, but ultimately not enough on this night, and they suffer their first defeat of the season.
Yeah, they were out with more than 4 minutes left there, and that's
4:18.
4:18. Yeah, I mean it was they're definitely taking a crack at it, and it's just one of those nights. Just too many things did not go their way. You heard Timmy and Coatsy talking about it. If you're gonna have a game like that, a lot of times you need your goaltender to bail you out, and unfortunately, Felix Sandstrom was mortal tonight a little bit. A lot of good stops. It certainly kept it closer than it could have been, but when you need a goalie to steal a game, that's not the kind of game you had tonight. So again, still a great start for this team, and they have still have some momentum behind them as they take a couple of days off now for their next back-to-back.
Yeah, I mean, the two goals that maybe you don't like are that first one where he's down a little, stayed down in his butterfly position, and Verhaeghe is able to beat him high glove, because the option of being up on your edges there would have given him a much better chance on a high shot. Verhaeghe may not even have shot it high if he's on his skates, right?
Right.
And then the fourth goal, which ends up being the difference in this game, is one that it's knuckling on him, which I guess makes it more difficult. It didn't seem like it had a tremendous amount of velocity, but it just sneaks under his glove, and he hasn't played in a while. He hasn't played since, I think, the third preseason game, but that's one that he's not going to like seeing video of.
Yeah, and it's, again, you're right. It does have some tough aspects to it. I mean, the puck is on edge, basically rolling through the zone as the shooter approaches the net, and then when he takes the shot, it's not flat, and so it is kind of fluttering a little bit.
It'll dip when that happens too, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know what kind of optical illusion the goalies have, but watching it initially, it looked like it hit Tony DeAngelo's stick and jumped, and then you go back and you look at it from a different angle and you see that didn't happen. So, like I said, I don't know what kind of tricks a puck like that might play on a goalie's eyes, but like you said, comes down to it. It's one he would want back, and down the road maybe he is able to make that save.
Yeah, and the thing is too, on some of those that it's like a bit of a change up. For a goalie, if it's coming in and it's coming in with steam, you're just doing everything you can to make the save, throw everything at it. When you add a little timing into it, that actually will mess a goalie up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that played into it. We'll have to hear Felix's explanation on it post game. Flyers go into that third period, Brian. They go down in the game 2-0. They battle back. They get it tied going into the third. And that was it tied going into the third? Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, tied going into the third period. Yeah, 2-2 game. And then they come out in the third period and they outshoot Florida 19-9, but they end up 0-2 on the scoreboard. It's bizarre.
Yeah, and some of that I think is credit to Florida's defense, and also it's the Sergei Bobrovsky effect. He has always been good against the Flyers ever since he left here, first in Columbus and now in Florida. You see, there were two opportunities there on the 6-on-5 for Joel Farabee from the top of the left circle. Other goaltenders, that might be something that gets by one of those two shots, but you just from lefty shooting from the top of the left circle like that against Bobrovsky, you're just looking at it and going, no, that's not going to go in. That's, that needs some help to get in. So standard solid goaltending by Bob, and I thought the Flyers were actually it was against character for them to get a couple of them by him that they did, because he has just been such a Flyer killer over the years.
Yeah, and I thought Bob was excellent in the game tonight. He made some really big saves. I thought Sandstrom made some really big saves, but it's the two goals, the first goal and the last goal, and the last one certainly your lasting impression. A little bit of that recency bias on that last goal that ends up, being the difference in the game. And, to beat a team like Florida on the road in a back-to-back, you're going to need your backup goaltender to make some big saves. And
to me, it's tougher when the goal that you wish you had back is the last one that was scored. Mm-hmm. If you give up a goal like Carter had that goal in the Jersey game, the opener. That was the first goal the Flyers gave up, and so that you're a little more energized to come back from that. When you're already down a goal and you're trying to mount a comeback and that goes in, that's a lot more deflating than it is if it happens in the first period.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's those key points in games that Torts talks about, that you and I have talked about 1,000 times. It's sometimes not that a certain play happens, it's when it happens.
Yeah.
And there's key shifts in games pending where the momentum is and what happened prior. And then you see it really after a game when you see what the impact of one of those shifts will be, those consequential shifts.
And let's just think about how different the momentum would have been throughout the entire game if the Joel Farabee offside play had not happened. If he had just been able to keep control of that puck as he went in over the line, that goal stands. From that point on, it's an entirely different hockey game. But those are the breaks sometimes. They're going to go your way certain nights. They're going to go against you on other nights. And obviously the Flyers are going to look at this game and still think that they have a lot to clean up. But they're to sit here being 3-1 through 4 games. If you told me that last week, I'd say, okay, yep, I'm good with that. So so just regroup for Nashville.
Yeah, this isn't the 2008 trip through Florida where it was a cakewalk.
Yeah. Oh man, remember those days?
Yeah, that was a true vacation.
The Orrin Coles, Len Barry, Tampa Bay Lightning,
Mm-hmm.
and then
totally different.
whatever was going on with Florida back then, and you just go down there and you play some golf, and then happen to get in a couple of hockey games.
You play 18 and walk off the course at 4:45 for a 7:00 puck drop in those times.
Yep, absolutely.
One of the things the Flyers are going to need to do when they come back, Bri, as I look through this game and the specific stats, the Flyers in the game, 37% in the face-off circle. They won 25 draws. Florida won 42. Flyers got pasted in the circle all said and done last night. I don't think they won more than 2 faceoffs in the second and third period combined. And right now, heading into the game tonight, they were at 41.4. That's going to go down after tonight, 37% tonight. And maybe got to get Bob Clark down there to work with, like he did with Claude Giroux many years ago, on draws, because they got to get better at draws because that determines possession.
That changed the course of things for years when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
There is too, the matter of a relative lack of experience right now at the center position, because you got Morgan Frost, Noah Cates, Jackson Cates all taking considerable amounts of faceoffs. Now, I'm not sure why Kevin Hayes is 5 for 20. That's a little concerning, but he is.
He was never a great face-off guy to begin with, but
historically, he has not been the reason the Flyers have been so good on draws. But at the same time, still missing Sean Couturier, so that might take care of things a little bit when he's back, as long as his injury has not affected his face-off prowess. But I think you're right. If Clarkey still has his skates, then it might be nice for him to pop down there one time.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, can we pot up the YouTube right now so we can hear from Felix Sandstrom, Flyers goaltender?
A little bit harder and faster and more efficiently. What did you see from the defensive effort tonight?
Yeah, I think we do a great job defending. Guys block shots and all that, so they do a great job. It's a back to back, so it's important to do that, and I think we did a pretty good job with that. Good kills, and yeah.
What did it say about the team to fight back down 2-0?
I think that shows how strong we are to be able to keep getting back into games. Even though we're not the team scoring first, we're still in the games and keep coming back. So it's just show how strong the guys are and the compete level with the guys. Yeah.
When we spoke to Zach, he said that he felt like early on the team fed the Panthers transition game a little bit too much. When you see those odd man rushes coming down the ice, what is going through your mind, and what are you kind of keeping in mind as you're getting fed?
Yeah, odd man rushes aren't. We don't want to let too many of those come, so it's just gotta try to make the reads, and we've been talking a lot of how we handle those situations too. So trying to make that read from how the defense works too, and to be able to get there if they pass it and make a save.
All right, there he is, Felix Sandstrom. I was hoping to hear him asked about that fourth goal, but um, either we missed that question or it never came. So uh, there he is talking about the game, talking about the resilience of the team going down 2-0 and battling back. But ultimately tonight, the hill was, I don't want to say the hill was too steep to climb, Bry, because they did climb it. But, when the game was up for grabs in the third, they just didn't get it done tonight.
Yeah, that's the difference between this game and the previous three is that they were able to pull even, and they found the opportunity in the third period to get that go-ahead goal, whereas on this occasion the opposition did that. They found the opportunity to get that go-ahead goal, and it came off of first off we saw the first goal, the one that was the well, I guess it was the eventual game winner until the very end. The third goal, where it was just a miscommunication on the third pair between Nick Seeler and Igor Zamula. They both go to the puck carrier. Nobody takes the other man, and he's the one that scores. So that was one thing that didn't go their way, and then you get the slight backbreaker there with the fluttering puck that eluded Sandstrom. You can probably in that situation, as we saw with the late goal, you can probably survive one of those things on the road in the second half of a back-to-back where you've already come back to 2 goals down, but it's tough to survive too. So again, it's just one of those things where the breaks kind of went the other way tonight.
Yeah, and you're kind of starting to see John Tortorella, based on usage, feeling when players are going and his combinations. I know Joel Farabee missed a shift towards the end. He's playing his way back. He played over 20 minutes in the game, so he played a lot of minutes for the Flyers in this one. But you look at Travis Konechny, he played over 8 minutes on the power play, had some PK time in the game as well. You can tell there's a lot of trust there with the head coach and that player at this moment for sure.
And let's not forget that Farabee was at least somewhat limited in training camp. I don't recall exactly how much of the conditioning stuff that he took part in.
He took part in all that, but he was in non-contact jersey until the very end.
Yeah. So I don't know if given the summer he had, maybe playing 20 minutes on one night and then getting in the back-to-back the next night, maybe that's not the greatest situation for him. But he will bounce back obviously and handle those situations down the road, no question.
Yeah, I mean, he played 20 minutes and 59 seconds to Joel Farabee. Travis Konechny led all forwards in ice time with 23:06, 8:23 on the power play, 2:21 on the PK, even strength 12:22. He ends up with 6 shots on goal. I mean, TK doing exactly what you want him to do. A goal and an assist in the game. I mean, that's what you want from Travis Konechny, leading the way defensively and in minutes total for the team. Was Tony DeAngelo. A lot of power play time here, 7:37 on the power play, 141 shorthanded. He ends up, again, with another point. He's got a point in every game as a Flyer, does Tony DeAngelo. He's on the score sheet again with an assist, as is Ivan Provorov, who played 21-25, Sanheim 21-30. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back with more here on the postgame show. Flyers fall for the first time this season by a score of 4-3 in Florida. We'll be back at it Saturday. We'll talk about that coming up and much more. You're listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.
Hey, Mike.
Situation. That's the one that hurts to me.
We spoke to Nick in the locker room about that. He said that he talked to you after the game. What was your message to him and Eeyore?
To who?
Nick Sealer.
Yeah, we just went over him and Z. We just went over the coverage, just to try to make sure we're on the same page. I mean, we do 2-on-2s every day for this reason. But yeah, I wanted to get to them right away just to see what they're thinking. And we just went over on the board just to try to straighten it out.
Outside of that one goal, how do you evaluate Sanchez?
Oh, he made some great saves. Yeah, he played really well. And the one goal, if you're talking about the fourth goal, yeah, that I thought it hit a stick. It didn't hit, but it was a knuckle puck. It was a hard one. Do we want it? Yeah. But I thought he made some really good saves to give us a chance to stay in it.
What does it say about this team yet again? Even though they didn't win, they were able to.
Hey, Mike, can you pause the
Yeah,
torts?
we kept playing. We kept playing. I thought we beat up the puck a little bit.
Okay.
And I think that's probably what Zach is talking about. I just think we
Okay.
need to make more plays. We bang it around a little bit. It goes back to the other team, and that's.
Sorry, people in the stream. I'm trying to sync this up so that we can have it on the radio at the same time.
This is us learning how to do this with all of our new
Yeah.
technology. Enjoy, everyone.
We'll see how close we can get it here.
As long as it's semi-close, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here's head coach John Tortorella meeting with the media.
Well, I'm not so sure if it was that. I thought we were slow coming out. I thought as the game went on, we played better. Found a way to crawl back into it. We give up. That's the one that hurts. I thought Sandy gave us a chance. To me, that's a free one on an even strength situation. That's the one that hurts to me.
We spoke to Nick in the locker room about that. He said that he talked to you after the game. What was your message to him and Eeyore?
To who?
Nick Sealer.
Yeah, we just went over him and Z. We just went over the coverage, just to try to make sure we're on the same page. I mean, we do 2-on-2s every day for this reason. But yeah, I wanted to get to them right away just to see what they're thinking. And we just went over on the board just to try to straighten it out.
Outside of that one goal, how do you evaluate Sanchez?
Oh, he made some great saves. Yeah, he played really well. And the one goal, if you're talking about the fourth goal, yeah, that I thought it hit a stick. It didn't hit, but it was a knuckle puck. It was a hard one. Do we want it? Yeah. But I thought he made some really good saves to give us a chance to stay in it.
What does it say about this team yet again? Even though they didn't win, they were able to come back even now.
Yeah, we kept playing. We kept playing. I thought we beat up the puck a little bit, and I think that's probably what Zach is talking about. I just think we need to make more plays. We bang it around a little bit. It goes back to the other team, and that's why we end up kind of back on our heels in certain minutes of the game. I think we have the ability to make more plays. They're there. We just gotta keep on working it. I'm happy with the effort. We stayed in it, back-to-back situation, and I thought we played better as the game went on.
You said you want this team to score by committee. Who do you think has the potential to step up and to make more plays?
Well, there better be everybody. I mean, it's not picking one guy. I can go down a list. I'll define it just that. Instead of naming names, it's got to be done by committee. We need to get some goals from people. We scored another power play goal, and that's been really good in the first 4 games. Scoring a power play goal each game, it keeps us in the game. But we need to get more offense out of other people right on through the lineup.
Doing 2 shots on goal, the secondary assists. What did you think of this?
Played really well. And this is his 4th game in 5 nights. Remember, he was down in the minors. I thought he had great energy, and I thought he had a really good game. But he needs to score a goal too. So no matter who you are, for us to get on the right end of maybe a 4-goal win, people are going to have to help out. It's not going to come easy for us to beat a team 4-3. And that's what we're going to need to get some consistency with some other people.
All right, there's head coach John Tortorella addressing the media just a little bit ago. And, he gave his goaltender, Felix Sandstrom, some praise, made some big saves in the game. He absolutely did. Also attacked the situation with Felix or with Nick Seeler and that miscommunication head on. So, that's the Torts way of doing things, not waiting and always teaching.
Sounds like you and I need to score a goal.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll jump right in. Yeah, no, I think, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier before we even heard from Torts, but I'm dead on in agreement with that assessment. I think if you look at the goal that sunk the Flyers, you want to look at that third goal, the one that had the misread, and obviously the fourth one, that deflates anything you're trying to do as far as come back and tie the game. That definitely does hurt. But if you want to pick a turning point of that game, it's probably that third goal, because that's one that like Torch said, if you come to Flyers practice, you will see them running that every single day. Those 2-on-2s. You got obviously the forwards working on their zone entries, but the defensemen also working on preventing them and working on who goes with what and all that. And that just that didn't happen tonight on that particular play, unfortunately. And nobody's going to be perfect all the time. There's going to happen. You just hope they don't happen at inopportune times, and that's what happened with this one.
Yeah, because you have to figure out how to support your partner that's on the strong side with the puck carrier coming at them,
right,
without allowing the other guy to become a very dangerous option.
Yeah, and again, this is it's one play. I don't want to call out anybody, but if you go back and look at that, James Van Riemsdyk is coasting. He is the he's the forward that's closest on the back check, and I assume that he, from his perspective, is looking at that and thinking that those two guys have that under control, because it really looked like they did. I mean, it was a 2-on-2. It didn't look like it was an emergency situation. But if you're in James Van Riemsdyk's spot there, coming back through the neutral zone, approaching the blue line, and you just, you turn on the jets a little bit just in case, then he's got an opportunity once the Florida player that scored, once he escapes the 2-on-2, he's got an opportunity to get back there and at least get a stick on it.
Yeah, that's why you say like back checking is one of those things you can control. You never know.
Right. Just get back there and do it.
Yeah, because you can control that getting back, and you never know, because if the play curls out to you, now all of a sudden you are part of it. You may feel like you're out of it, but until the play's over, you're not. You don't know. A trailer could come in. You could pick up that guy. There's a lot of things that can happen. And I'm sure that's the thing that Torts talks about with playing away from the puck, and that'll be a teaching moment as well. Let's take another timeout here on the postgame show. Flyers fall to the Florida Panthers. 4-3 is the final. We'll talk about Travis Konechny coming up as well. Talked about him a little bit already in the minutes he played tonight, and we'll talk about his stat line on tonight and the season. We're back with more after this on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Flyers go down in defeat for the first time this season. Travis Konechny, Bri, another goal and an assist on the season. And he has started off extremely well for this Flyers team, not only just from, a statistical point of view, but an effectiveness on the ice. I thought he was really driving the net again tonight. In 4 games played now, he's got, 4 goals and then 2 assists, 6 points in 4 games. He's off to a great start. Played over 20 minutes of ice time in the game tonight, used in all situations. He's becoming a real, crutch for this coach to get him in there in all different areas of the game.
Yeah, he's he's certainly made an impression, I think, in the early going. And coming into this game today, 3 goals in 3 games. One of a very few players in the league to be on a goal per game pace coming in. It's great to see because, again, we've mentioned this a few times, that Chuck Fletcher mentioned him by name, and when he was giving his state of the state, whatever you want to call it, at the beginning of training camp, you need to see what we have. And he said, is Travis Konechny a 50-point player or is he a 70-point player? And this Travis Konechny is leaning back toward that 70. He was an all-star in early 2020, right before the world shut down, and he has not regained that form really since then. He's had a lot of life changes since that time, and it looks like he might actually be at this point, ready to resume where he was, back when that season came to a halt.
Yeah, he's looking to pick up. He's one of those guys that I feel like is playing like he's got something to prove.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's really important for him. Now the thing is diligence. Keep it going. So Flyers going to continue this road trip. So they're not going to fly to Nashville until Friday. So I got to send the eggs and the omelet to Coatsy in South Florida. Is that the deal?
Yes, that is definitely true. I'm not entirely sure when they are departing, but I know that it's not tonight.
Okay.
So, and getting back to TK real quick, just from a standpoint of something to prove, he is in year 4 of this contract. He's got 2 more years coming up. I think what he wants, just from a personal standpoint, what he does this year and probably into the next couple of years is going to determine whether this is his last big contract or if he has another payday coming down the road.
Yeah.
So for him, there's a lot more at stake, financially, but just from a standpoint of helping the team and the pride, that's where they want to be. But yeah, the Flyers stay put tonight. I believe tomorrow is a complete day off. They have those mandated in the CBA here and there. So 2 days between games here. It's a good opportunity, especially coming off back-to-back. And I'm sure the weather is lovely.
It's chilly here.
It's very chilly here. It would be a bit of a drive to get down to the Keys, but I wouldn't mind that, So
that's a fun drive.
Yeah, it is. It's the nicest 4-hour, 45-mile-an-hour drive you'll ever take.
Yeah. Just rent one of those big pink convertibles.
Yeah.
Drive that down. Gas guzzler. Yeah. So they'll be in Nashville on Saturday. Nashville plays tomorrow night on the road in Columbus. And Nashville on the season right now, it's got a record of 2-2-1. They won their first 2 games, both of those overseas against San Jose, who's 0-5, by the way. We'll see them Sunday. And then they lost to Dallas 4-1 back home in Nashville, lost to Dallas in Dallas 5-1, then lost to the Los Angeles Kings at home last night 4-3 in the shootout. Like I said, they'll be in Columbus tomorrow night, and they'll get the Flyers Saturday night before they get a couple of days off till next Thursday. So important game. They're Nashville right now in 3rd spot in that Central Division of the Western Conference. And then we'll get to see San Jose back here on Sunday, but yet another back-to-back. So you got to make the assumption here is Carter will go in Nashville on Saturday. Yeah, tougher opponent. And then you give Felix Sandstrom once again the back-to-back on Sunday. But Don Tortorella did say that he's not a firm believer that goaltenders shouldn't play in back-to-backs.
Right.
He has a lot of conversation with Kim Dillabaugh. I mean, I think part of it was pretty determined in this situation because Carter played all the games so far. And you got to get your back-to-back into play so he can stay sharp. And then the other part is that he saw 38 shots last night, so he had a heavy workload as well against a team that had a lot of ozone time.
When you're looking at comparisons to last year, one of the constants is Kim Dillaball. And, you can bet that the philosophy the Flyers had last year was you don't want that backup sitting too long. You don't want, like Martin Jones, you did not want him to go 3 weeks between games, because then he would be, rusty when he came back in. So you can bet that was applied here. You can bet that at least a little bit of that was coming from Kim Dillaball last year. It wasn't all, Elaine Vigneault. It wasn't all Mike Yeo. Dilly was involved in that. So I'm sure he was of the same ilk here tonight. And when you're looking at what's happening here this week, if you got to pick a place where you want to just go ahead and let the backup take care of it, I think it was this game, because the next time out, you've got a back-to-back where you're coming home. You do lose an hour, but you're coming home. You get to sleep in your own bed, at least for a while, on Sunday. And then when you come to the rink on Sunday evening, you have the San Jose Sharks waiting for you.
Yeah.
And the San Jose Sharks are full-on Connor Bedard contenders. I mean, they are not what the Florida Panthers are. So
I don't think that was intentional, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. If you put Carter in that back-to-back situation, I like that one better than this one that we just played.
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks 0-5 right now. They've lost 4-1, 3-2, 2-1, 5-2, 5-2. I mean, they're just giving up way too many goals. They don't have great goaltending. James Reimer, at this point in his career, is probably better served to be a backup. Kokkinen's the other goaltender who was seen too. He gave up 5 and 3. So not a team that, it was weird, though, because San Jose, extended some guys last season. I mean, they had a real big chip last year, a really big chip that they could have moved and gotten something for. They end up not doing it. And, they're a team that I think is I think they're a little conflicted, to be honest with you, because they changed GMs in the offseason. Then they fired their coach really late. It's been a little clumsy there out in San Jose. So we'll see where they go.
And for whatever it's worth, they start a 3-4 here on the East Coast tomorrow night. They've got the Rangers tomorrow, and then they're also in a back-to-back this weekend. They've got a little more time than the Flyers do, but they've got the Devils on Saturday afternoon before coming to Philly on Sunday night. And then, the old adage is it's always more difficult to play coming west to east, I believe it is, than east to west. So, they're going to be fighting it a little bit. Their body clocks on Saturday may still have them playing at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. So it seems to me like a good opportunity here for the Flyers to, come out with at least 3 out of 4 points in this back-to-back coming up before they step into a little bit more conventional part of their schedule.
Yeah, the player I was referring to was Tomas Hertl, who was one of the big guys that was available last year. They ended up extending him to a very lucrative contract. And, of course, they traded Brent Burns in the offseason as well. So a bit of a transition period there in San Jose, a team that was, I guess, a contender for a really long time. Got to a final, but that was as far as they could get with that group with Thornton and Marlowe and Burns and I guess eventually Erik Karlsson, which I thought was an ill-advised signing at the time as well. So
what the Flyers are doing, just for those people that are interested in this sort of thing, off tomorrow in Florida, practicing in Florida on Friday, and then flying to Nashville after practice. So
gotcha.
If you want to send Coatsy care packages, they need to go to South Florida for the next couple of days.
All right. Well, there we go. Let's wrap it up on that note. Let's start with thanking a few people. Let's start with our in-studio engineer, Mike Vito. Great job by him tonight. Matt Menarek on highlights tonight. For Tim Saunders, Steve Coates, Ryan Smith, I'm Jason Myrtetus. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey, a 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Florida Panthers on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody.